Dear students, today we will study chapter 20 of class 11th biology, that is locomotion and movement. So in this chapter we will cover about the locomotion and the human skeletal system as well as other joints and the sliding filament theory. So let us start this chapter by understanding the definition of locomotion. That is, what is locomotion? So locomotion is the voluntary movements resulting in a change in the location. So when we move from one place to another place, that is called as locomotion. And all locomotions are movements, but all movements are not locomotion. So all our movements they cannot be called as locomotion because we are not changing position all the time. So that is why all locomotions are movement, but all movements they are not called locomotion. So let us take some more example and try to understand locomotion and movements are interlinked. The locomotion as well as the movements they are interlinked. For example, let us see this diagram of cilia of paramecium. In this diagram, look at the cilia. So these hair like structure here, they are called as cilia. So these cilia they play dual role in paramecium. Firstly, in paramecium, cilia help in the movement of food through cytopharynx, and they also help in locomotion. If we take the example of hydra, so this is the picture of hydra here. Hydra uses tentacles to capture prey, and also it uses tentacles for locomotion. So here are the tentacles of hydra, which is being used for capturing the prey and as well as for locomotion. In case of human beings, we have limbs. So these are our arms, these are our legs. So they are our limbs, and we use our limbs to change body postures, and we also use our limbs for locomotion. Now, what are the type of movements in humans? So all are familiar with the muscular movements. We use muscles and we move our body voluntarily. But there are other movements such as amoeboid movements, ciliary movements, and the muscular movements. So let us read about them one by one. So these amoeboid movements, that means amoeba-like movements. So amoeba moves by using pseudopodia. So here we have some cells in our body. These are macrophages and leukocytes. They are a part of our defense mechanism. That is, these are WBCs, and while they engulfing the antigens, the disease causing particles, so they move by using pseudopodia. So by pseudopodia formed by streaming of protoplasm. Also, cytoskeletal elements like microfilaments also help in this. Another movements, these are ciliary movements, and cilia they are found at many places in our body. So cilia are present in trachea, that is our windpipe, and these cilia they keep moving and they continuously removing the foreign particles from the trachea. Also, in the oviducts in females, so through the oviducts, the egg cell, that is ovum, passes. So these cilia they help in its movement. Now we are familiar with the muscular movements. So when we move our muscles, such as when we are moving our limbs, tongue or jaws, so these are called as muscular movements. Now talking about the type of muscles in human body, so we have three type of muscles, that is skeletal muscles or striated muscles, or these are also called as voluntary muscles. And secondly, visceral muscles or non-striated muscles, and these are also called as smooth muscles. And thirdly, cardiac muscles. So cardiac means the muscles of the heart. So the skeletal muscles, the muscles which are attached to our skeleton, these are skeletal muscle, and let us try to understand them one by one. First of all, skeletal or striated muscle fiber. So these are called striated because when we see them in the microscope, their structure is like this. So look at this diagram here, and it is the diagram of a striated muscle fiber. So here the alternate dark band as well as the light band are visible. So some areas they are light, some areas are dark, some areas are light, some areas are dark. So that is why we say that skeletal muscles have striations. So skeletal muscles, they remain attached to the skeleton. They have striations. They are voluntary, that means we can move them on our will. They have a rich blood supply. They are fatigue muscles, that means they get tired when we are working, and after some time we feel that we are now tired. And they have these muscle fiber is multinucleated. They have a lot of nucleus in them, and also they have more mitochondria as compared to other muscles. The next muscle is the visceral or the smooth muscle fibers, and these are present in our visceral organs, that means in our stomach, large intestine, small intestine, esophagus. So these are the places where these muscles are found. Here there are no striations. The striations are absent and they are involuntary, that means we cannot stop them from working on our will. So they are involuntary, they work on their own. They have a poor blood supply and they are non-fatigue, that means they don't get tired, they don't get stopped when they are tired, and they are uninucleate. So here are the example of smooth muscle fibers. And they have less mitochondria. The mitochondria are less here. And the third muscle fiber are cardiac muscle fibers. They are found in the heart wall. So cardiac is a word which we use to represent heart. So anything which has cardiac in it, that means it is related to our heart. And in this muscle striations are present, but these striations are somewhat different than the skeletal muscle fibers. They are also involuntary, that means they are not in our control. They our heart beats by itself, and they have a rich blood supply. These muscles are non-fatigue, that means they never stop. So till the time we are born and till the time we die, our heart keep on beating. So these muscles never stop. Uninucleate, these are uninucleate, that means single nucleus is present, and there are more mitochondria are present in these muscle fibers. So let us look at the diagram of these cardiac muscle fibers. So this is how they look like, and the striations are visible here. So these are the striations here. Let us now study about the structure of striated or skeletal muscle fibers. So the skeletal muscle is made up of many muscle bundles. So first of all, if we see our skeletal muscles, we'll find that there are so many muscle bundles in it. So these all they are the muscle bundles, and these muscle bundles, they are called as fascicles. Fascicles are held together by collagenous connective tissue layer called as fascica. So all these muscle bundles, they are held together or bound together by a special connective tissue, collagen connective tissue, and these are called fascia. We can see them in the diagram. So this muscle bundle, this is fascia. So it is being represented by all this area, and each fascia contain many muscle fibers. So each fascicle, so these are all are the muscle fibers here. So inside the muscle bundle there are muscle fibers. Now can you guess what is inside the muscle fiber? So let us recap it a little bit. Firstly, there is a muscle which is a skeletal muscle, and the muscle has muscle bundles, and these muscle bundles, then they have muscle fibers. So these muscle fibers, they are lined by plasma membrane, that means they have their plasma membrane, but that plasma membrane is called as sarcolemma, and that includes a cytoplasm, and that cytoplasm is called as sarcoplasm. And each muscle fibers then contain partially arranged myofilaments. So inside the muscle fiber, again, two kind of proteins are present, and they are called as myofilaments or muscle filaments. So anything which is named as myo is related to muscles. So what is there inside the myofibril? So this is how a myofibril look like, and each myofibril has dark bands and light bands. So dark bands are called as anisotropic or A bands, and light bands they are called as isotropic or I bands. So we can see this in the diagram here. So this is how a muscle fiber, that is, it's one of its unit, that is sarcomere, looks like. So these are the dark bands, and these here are the light bands. Dark bands they contain myosin, which is a protein, and light bands they contain actin. And these bands they have been divided into different areas. This area is called I band, which is a light band area, and it also contains a Z line here. And here it is, this part is called as A band or anisotropic, and in between, in this area there is a vacant area which is being represented by the M line, and it is also called as Z zone here. So there are two Z lines, and in them is the dark area, that is A band. So two I bands are on both the sides, and there is one A band in between them, and this constitute a sarcomere. So these two filaments which are present in a myofibril, this is due to the presence of two fibrous contractile proteins, that is actin as well as myosin. So actin and myosin which are present in the myofibril, they are actually contractile proteins. So here is one more diagram that is showing all this in more detail. This is I band. So I band contains actin. So in the I band area, this blue color filaments, they are actin filaments. A band, this is A band. This whole is the A band which contain myosin as well as some part of actin. So this bluish bands they are actin, and this darker and brownish and the thick bands they are called as myosin, and they are arranged parallel to each other. So this space here is H zone, and in the H zone there is a M line here. And look at this light bands which contain actin, they have a zigzag Z line here. Some more details. A band bear a light middle region called H band. This we have already studied. It is formed of only myosin. So this A band is formed only of myosin. A thin dark line M line runs through the center of H zone. So this is H zone here. This is H zone, and the M line is here. So this sarcomere, this whole unit is called as sarcomere, and it is the structural and functional unit of a muscle. That means it helps in contraction and relaxation of the muscle. Here is one diagram which is a microscopic diagram, and in this diagram also we can see the dark band as well as the light band. So this one is the light band, this is the dark band, again this is dark band, this is light band, and in the light band we are able to see Z line, and we know that light bands contain actin and dark band contain myosin, and here is a H zone here, and this whole dark band is called as A band. So that is all about the structure of striated muscle or our skeletal muscles. In my next video, we will study the structure of contractile proteins. That means actin and myosin. And now we know that these actin and myosin, they are present in the myofibril. That means here we have just studied that actin and myosin are present. So before studying more about them, we should know about that what they are made up of, how do they look like. So we will study this in my next video. So thank you for watching.